Hello, everybody. I'm Jay. That's Matty. And this is the Yankee and the Brit. And today we're coming at you with some Dak Prescott talk. The rumor mills are flying. Everybody's got something to say on Dak's contract, including us. And Matty, I'll let you go first since you're a resident Cowboy fan.
Yeah, so this has just been an absolute pain in the arse for about 2 years now. And now Dak Prescott hasn't appeared in a hype video, and that is the end of the world, apparently. Like, it's not even, like, I would understand if it was a normal off-season and it was, like, really slow news. So, you know, but this off-season, we have Deshaun wanting out, Russell Wilson wanting out, Aaron Rodgers wanting out, JJ Watt's been released. Like, there's loads of stuff, and people are still focused on Dak Prescott not appearing in a hype video for next season. I just want to say, I don't think they thought about it too much. What might have happened is Dak Prescott isn't under contract for the Dallas Cowboys next year. So he's not been put in the hype video for next year, not so that he doesn't get any leverage. I don't think that means Jerry's just said, no, we're not going to have him. Like, I don't think a simple hype video put on Twitter, I think it was, has kind of gone like, oh yeah, we're not going to have him at all for next season. That's it. We're done talking to him. But people are making it sound like it is. And I think that's crazy to me.
Well, I'm going to quote the guy I watch way too much of, Pat McAfee. Who the fuck is making a hype video in February? Like, This is the question I got. Not why is Dak not in it? Like, why the hell are you even worried about a hype video a week after the Super Bowl? Not even, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's like, why are you making a hype video after a season where we just played absolute garbage? Like, give people a chance to forget. Like, give people a chance to forget how bad you guys were first, and then we'll get hyped up again. Like Cowboys fans have had to do for 25 years. I'm 23 years old, and I haven't seen the Cowboys like go to an NFC Championship game, and I still have the hope every season. So we don't even need hype videos, to be honest. But with the Dak Prescott contract, I'm glad that we get to talk about this because I enjoy talking about. I've been thinking about it in my head. And I will pay Dak anything for him not to go to the Washington football team. I think
if you're Dak, unless they back up a Brinks truck, do you really want to play in Washington right now anyway is the question.
That's the thing.
Troy Aikman came out this week, which I don't think he really helped Dak's cause by saying he doesn't believe he'll play on the franchise tag. Now, far be it for me to try to say I know more football than Troy Aikman because I guarantee he's forgot more football than I'll ever know.
Yeah.
But I think he's fucking crazy. I don't think there's any way Dak plays on anything but the franchise tag. And only because, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think if Jerry Jones thought Dak Prescott was Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, he pays him $40+ million already because, to quote Jerry, my hands don't get cramps writing checks. You know what I mean? I don't think he's completely sold on giving this guy $40+ million.
Yeah, I think he's definitely not. Like, I think Jerry Jones has actually been quite good with the business. Over this past week, he's been kind of proved right, which kind of absolutely boils my blood because in many ways, Jerry Jones is the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. Like, let's be real. He's also the reason that they're able to go get whatever free agents they want. And like, they're always on TV and they're just a fun team to kind of watch. Like, he's a lot of what's good about the Dallas Cowboys. But in terms of what's been wrong since 95, he's the reason that there wasn't a bigger dynasty after that. So it's very difficult for me to say that Jerry Jones is right about something. But what he's right about is Dak Prescott is not worth $40 million. Now, if he paid him the same contract as Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, I wouldn't be mad at that. Like, I wouldn't have been mad at that at the time. And if he continued to play like he had, like, he has earned $35 million with his play since those two got a contract.
Question for you. I might be wrong, so correct me, but didn't they offer him 5 years, 175?
Yeah. They offered him a big contract, but he's hanging out for 40. And what I think is kind of had, like, he won't get paid 40 because Jerry will have, like, that'll be too big of a smack in Jerry's face.
By the Cowboys.
Yeah. Hey, there are teams that would pay Dak Prescott 40. There are teams that would definitely pay Dak Prescott 40. I personally don't think that Dak Prescott is worth 40 million by himself, but I think in a good team, he's worth 35 million. And it feels weird, like talking about 5 million or like even 37 million. It feels weird talking about like 5 to 3 million in difference, really, doesn't it? But that's like a player that can help Dak and that Dak can really make better. Where I think the Cowboys really messed up is paying Zeke too early and D-Law too early. Like if they didn't do that, then there wouldn't be a problem with Dak, really.
Okay, this is going to sound so counter to what I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here, but you'll understand.
Yeah,
I'm not huge on paying a running back tons of money, but I love that my Vikings did it.
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm looking as the team, right? I'm like, well, you don't want to give your running back that kind of money. But then as the Vikings, the Panthers, you're like, even the Packers, I think, should pay Aaron Jones. And I think you had to pay Zeke. I think you did because he's a top 5 running back. It's just they could key on him this year. It was like, let's put 9 in the box and see if fucking Andy Dalton or whoever you guys picked up off of the fucking bagging groceries to play at one point because of the injuries. You guys had guys I never heard of.
Benjamin DiNucci.
Yeah, never heard of that guy.
His initials spelled bad, and he played bad. We nearly beat, what was his name? Garbett, or whatever his name was, nearly beat the Steelers. I thought we were on a roll at that point, but never mind. That didn't happen. Hey, Andy Dalton, by the way, could be the whole screw in this thing. Like, Andy Dalton could be the reason that Dak Prescott isn't a Cowboy next year. Because he played well enough.
8-8 with Andy Dalton for $17 million, or I can go 8-8 with Dak Prescott for $45 million.
I personally think that the Cowboys will do better this year with Dak Prescott. I don't think Dak Prescott is 3 times the quarterback.
Somewhere around 8-8.
Yeah, I think Dak Prescott will win more games on his own back than Andy Dalton will. But is Dak Prescott 3 times better than Andy Dalton? No. But I would pay Dak Prescott 35 million. I would not pay him 40 million. I'd probably, if the number has a 3 at the front of it, I would not be bothered, to be perfectly honest, to how high it is in the 30s.
Is Dak Prescott, to me, worth 40 plus million to Dallas? No. That team is fucking stacked. No.
That offense is stacked. Yeah.
Right. And they need the cat. They could use the cat money too, right? Is Dak Prescott worth 40 million to, say, Indy? Yeah. Yeah, because that team is ready to take off right now. You're not paying him what you think he's worth. You're paying him for a shot at a championship, which I don't think Dak's going to throw a team on his back and go and Patrick Mahomes his way to a Super Bowl, right? Like, I got you. But I think if you put him around talented players, do I think he is top tier Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady? No. Do I think he's in that second tier? Sure, absolutely. I think he is.
The thing is, he's the best quarterback in the division. Like, he's proved he's the best quarterback in division. He almost had a better season than Carson Wentz, even though he broke his leg like most of the way through. Really,
he was the best quarterback in the division, but the football team just re-signed Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke, yeah. Never mind. That's not over. That's not over. Division lost again. Congrats to Dallas Cowboys for coming second in the NFC East again.
No, he is.
Thanks to Taylor Heineke.
He's not a bad quarterback. He's just not that top tier. But again, I'm always pro player getting their money. So I'm not mad at him for asking for that type of money because he was a fourth round pick, right?
Yeah.
And he hasn't got his payday unless you want to count that he's going to play on 2 franchise tags. But I know Kirk Cousins reached out to him and told him this could be your friend. Don't fear it, because Cousins is pushing 200 million in career earnings, right? Like, so Kirk Cousins played the game perfectly for money wise. And I don't know what he's going to do. And maybe I'm projecting my feelings onto him, but maybe Kirk takes a little less money to win a championship in the next couple of years because he has banked the money, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're Dak Prescott, you don't take a break right now. you set your family up for generational wealth. Then once, if you ain't got the championship or you want a couple more, then you do a Tom Brady. But Tom Brady did his whole career because he's married to Giselle, who makes $50 million a year, right? Not everybody's got that luxury. Get paid, stack your cash, make sure your grandkids are taken care of. Then at the end of your career, give a discount where you would give the Cowboys a slight discount. It's not even home team. It's like you would give Vegas or a Florida team. There is no state tax.
No state tax.
Which gives you, depending where you live in the U.S., 8 to 14% more of your money.
Yeah, and is Dak Prescott going to be on as many advertising campaigns if he's not the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? Like, he's not.
Just depends which team, right? Yes, it depends where
he's not. He's not, like, in Indy. Is he going to be on more national advertising campaigns than if he's in Dallas? No,
like, but in Chicago he would be.
In Chicago, he would be. Hey, I could see him in Chicago.
Depends, but
I could
most
see him in
likely
Chicago.
no. You gotta be Chicago, New York, Houston. You know, you got to be in these huge markets. Dallas, and something about Dallas. Now, Chicago's a bigger market, but something that might put Dallas over the top is, even though they're not truly America's team anymore, if you go by fan numbers, that's closer to Steelers, Packers, but you're right up in there. They're America's team by brand. And that star on the helmet still fucking means something in commercial world.
Yeah, and being from the UK, there are lots and lots and lots of Dallas Cowboys fans here. They're the easiest team to watch in the UK. Okay. They've got the most games on. They've got the most games on Sky Sports. Unless, like, I suppose the Chiefs had more this year because
would you
the Cowboys
say the
got
Jags
flexed
are
out.
Too?
The Jags are 2 because they're the team that play in London the most.
Yeah, okay,
they're the teams that have the most fans, but you can't really watch them. But like
that's
the Jags
weird.
The Jags are probably top. The Jags are top in terms of fans.
Don't you think they should show every Jags game just because of that almost, though?
I wouldn't say so. Not if the Jags are playing absolute garbage. Basically, they just take whoever's the primetime team is who we get. That's
okay.
That's
and
what it is.
Up until the last year or so, Dallas's name alone gave them a couple primetime games a year at least.
So they got 5. They were getting 5 a year. So
that's the max.
You see them more often. And then it's like you get one. So we get the primetime game, and then you get for us it starts at like 5. The NFL day starts at like 4 or 5. So you get a 4 or 5 o'clock game, a 9 o'clock game, and then the primetime games at 1 o'clock. So Dallas would often get in those. So you would get to see like Dallas like 8 times a year. But obviously I pay for NFL Game Pass, so I see them as much as I want to. But like, so Dallas is massive outside as well. And I think that is something that Dak Prescott should take into account. But
I didn't even think of that, though. I didn't think about the worldwide. Now, that's weird because in basketball, my head goes global brand, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
When you see a guy like Kobe Bryant making moves when he was alive globally, or Yao Ming was a globally, like these basketball players, LeBron James is global. He's as big in China as he is in the U.S. I never even thought about the UK, though. There is a ton of football fans in the UK, American football fans. Never thought about how he could even build his brand overseas by being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, like people who are NFL. So like people who are NFL fans. So obviously, like people who aren't NFL fans, it's very easy to not be an NFL fan in the UK. So I'm not going to say if I went into the streets of Darlington right now and showed a picture of Dak Prescott, they would know who they are. But every NFL fan would know who Dak Prescott is because he's the star of the Dallas Cowboys. Would they know who Teddy Bridgewater is? No. Would they know who Sam Darnold is? No, probably not. Would they know who? They would probably know like Cam Newton, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, like that kind of caliber of guy. And then they would know the players for their own team. Like that's how it kind of works. And I think Dak Prescott kind of has to take that kind of advertisement on as well. And I think he's going to be a Cowboy. I just have a gut feeling there's not enough coming out that people are fighting for Dak, you know?
I think Jerry Jones franchises him because it's the cheapest way to keep him this year.
Yeah.
And I think after the year is over or before the season starts, they will put an extension on the franchise tag to help him get to the money he wants, but giving Jerry the years he wants to spread it. Unless Dak is still set on that 4 years and I'm not doing 5, maybe that stops the deal, but Jerry wants that 5th year to spread that stuff out.
Yeah.
I do think also Jerry wants to wait for that big TV money to come. And
yeah,
here's
definitely.
the thing. You know me, I'm a Kirk Cousins supporter. I don't think he's Tom Brady, but I think he's really good, right? And I think you got to be in the same spot as me as a Vikings fan when people are like, get rid of Cousins, get rid of Dak. Well, who the fuck are we going to get instead?
There's nobody. Like, I suppose this is the year. I suppose this is the year to do it, like with the quarterbacks that are around. But Sam Darnold's not better than Dak Prescott. Carson Wentz isn't better than Dak Prescott. Who else is knocking about? Obviously, Deshaun Watson's not going to come from Houston to Dallas. That's not going to happen. And Jimmy Garoppolo's not better than Dak Prescott. So,
well, let's say you have an offensive guard who wants a ton of money and you can't pay him and you let him go, right? And you get a subpar player in there. You can help him out. You can make up for him. You can chip. You can do stuff. You can get a receiver. You can, like, maybe not as good as the guy you left, but quarterback's a whole different ballgame. And they got these teams almost hostage because it's not like you can plug and play somebody else.
Yeah, we would have to draft somebody and start again if Dak Prescott was to go. And
pray that this kid's talent lives up. Right. It's just
like we hit an absolute home run with Dak Prescott. And I think I am kind of on this track of pay the guy his money at this moment in time because who's going to be better. You just kind of have to, and you've just got to bite the bullet. And I think once the salary cap's going to come down this year, so tag him again. And then once the salary cap starts to go up, the TV money comes in, then pay him his money. And then maybe later on in his career, or we'll find another quarterback somewhere, or later on in his career, he'll say, right, you guys did me a solid back then, even though it took you a while to realize it, but I'll take a discount now. Let's go win a championship. Cowboys?
I think if they come to a deal, I don't think there's any hard feelings going forward. I think Dak's smart enough to know this is business. Jerry's not going to take it personally because it's business, right?
I think that's a narrative that's being really spun out of control, that there's bad blood. I just don't think.
I think everybody's an adult and gets how that's working. And as long as you get to where, if you're Dak, as long as you get to the contract you want, and Jerry never came out and like shit on you or took shots at you or anything, there's probably zero hard feelings and you get to where you want to be. I'm sure you're not happy that they didn't just pay you up front, right? But I think the result is more important than the process sometimes.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If you're the Cowboys, like, you got no choice. You have to pay him, even though I don't think he's worth 40 plus.
Yeah.
If I'm Jerry, I have to pay him.
Yeah, and it's like you're splitting hairs over, like, realistically, you're splitting hairs over the money to pay a decent safety, like $5 million. You know, like that's what you're splitting the hairs over. So it's kind of like it is shit. Like, he's not worth 40 million, but you've also only had to pay him 2 million until last year. So
if there was no salary cap, Jerry would write him a $50 million check a year.
Yeah, definitely.
He wouldn't care.
Definitely.
What do you think Jerry Jones would be willing to sign on a check? How many zeros if you guaranteed him a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he will buy every player in the league to make sure nobody had any players.
He'd write the league $1 billion check. Because of his age and the money he's got, he would literally write $1 billion check for another Super Bowl. So, like, it's not that he has a problem paying Dak money. He has a problem killing his salary cap to pay Dak that much money, because my opinion is he doesn't believe he's Patrick Mahomes or a guy that can carry him. But I do believe he believes with the right pieces around him, Dak is good enough to bring them to a Super Bowl and even bring them back to win games when they're from behind. You and I have talked about teams where we're like, they can win this, but if they get behind, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Dallas, Dak can play you out of that. He's a tier 2 guy. He's not tier 3.
Yeah, Dak is, I personally would say Dak's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. I know you don't think this, but I personally think that Dak's. I think Dak's a little bit better than Kirk Cousins.
Though, so the argument is fair all the way around. Whereas a tier 3 guy, in my opinion, can win you a game, but he can't bring you back. So tier 3 guy to me and probably the best tier 3 guy, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo is a good person.
Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, people are going to crush me. Deshaun Watson, only because I think he's been on a team that did him no service, and he can be a tier 1 guy.
Deshaun Watson will make it into that tier 1. Yeah, Deshaun Watson will make it into that tier 1 as soon as he gets a team around him. Yeah, he'll be fine. And like Sam Darnold's tier 3, who I think will be in tier 2 if he gets a decent team around him and stuff like that.
I have a hard time judging young guys on tiers. Yeah. I almost give them until you're in the league 3 or 4 years, I almost give you your own category.
Yeah.
Unless you're Patrick Mahomes because you jumped up there. You know what I mean?
Or Justin Herbert, who's now definitely...
he's definitely in tier 2.
Yeah, he's 100% tier 2. Yeah.
And he got a couple more good years under him, and he'll be up there too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I do agree with you. I think Dak Prescott is a guy who should definitely be paid. He has to be paid. It's just unfortunate it's come to this, and it's unfortunate that it's going to have to be 40 million. But I think we're very resigned to the fact that it's going to be 40 million-ish.
That's where the tier 2 guys kill you, because
you can't then afford
one guy all that money and go, that kind of sucks, but he's worth it, right?
Yeah.
The tier 2 guy, you almost feel like you're overpaying because you got no choice, because you don't want a tier 3 guy, and there's only a couple tier 1 guys. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, and I feel like in theory, Dallas are in the same place as the Colts, what we were talking about at the start of this video, where the Colts are ready to go. So they will pay Dak Prescott 40 million. Well, in theory, on paper, if you look at the teams...
Every year I say the same thing and they let me down.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at the teams, Dallas are ready. Dallas should be going. Like the offense, we all know the offense is absolutely lethal as long as they stay healthy on the offensive line. Zeke looked like he was starting to cook a bit more, and Karen Pollard's a great running back as well. And then obviously we know the receiving cores absolutely fire, and the defense started to look like they could actually mark people in the secondary, and they could turn over the ball. There were some actual players there, so I wouldn't be too upset about them playing Dak Prescott. It's just don't pay him this year because the salary cap's going down. When the salary cap goes up, you can talk about it again,
right?
And we'll see how his leg is.
They can do an extension before July something, and then after July, they have to wait till the end of the year. I truly believe Dak Prescott will be a Cowboy for at least 5 more years. At least.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, but again, unless, say, they franchise him and one of these teams like Indy are like, I'll give you a first, 2 seconds, and a third. You know what I mean? Just come out.
Then you take it. Yeah, then you take it. But obviously,
right?
Yeah, that's hard. So, like,
I think Jerry actually loves Dak as a person too.
Yeah, I honestly, I think Dak is the perfect. Friendly. Dak is like the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys at this moment in time as well. It's like the whole stance he took. So obviously, like we've spoken other episodes about like the national anthem and how important it is, especially to people in Dallas, like people in Texas, and Dallas are America's team and stuff like that, and how Dak carried himself in that situation, even though he didn't agree with everything that was
Let me
said.
ask you a question, just because it's random, or it's not, it's just a random question on the Cowboys about the national anthem. So remember when Jerry came out and said, if anybody kneels, they will not play?
Yeah. You
think if Dak and Zeke would have kneeled, he'd have benched them?
Absolutely not.
Me neither. Okay, there's just a dumb question that I wondered if he already knew they weren't going to kneel, and that's why he felt big chest to say it, I think. But,
yeah. Well, Dak Prescott, and like Dak Prescott has clearly shown that he speaks for himself as well. He doesn't just speak for Jerry Jones, so he also like he is going against Jerry Jones right now, so the players trust him as well. So Dak Prescott,
he does a brilliant balance between not being a robot but still carrying the water for the Cowboys as the quarterback should.
Yeah, and like saying all the right things in press conferences.
To protect the brand, but you also have to balance not being fake.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, shout out to Dak Prescott and his family, since we're talking about him. You guys have had an awfully sad year of COVID. with your brother and everything else that's happened. And so just T's and P's out to Dak Prescott and his family and everything. And go get your money, man. Go get your money.
You deserve it.
Right. Well, now you're not going to feel the same way because you're a Cowboys fan. But I'm just saying, I'm always pro player getting paid unless it's fucking the Viking salary cap. Then I become a team guy real quick.
No, I'm all about Dak getting paid. I just want it to happen in the right way.
Right.
And like, I just want it to happen in a way that Jerry can fiddle with the cap in the best way that he's able to and all of that kind of thing. But I also want Dak to get paid because I'd like the guy and he's a really nice guy.
Last offseason, I felt the same way about Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I want you to get your 15 to 16 million a year, right? Or 12 or whatever you're going for at that point. But I want you to structure it so it does not kill us, but yet you still get your guaranteed money. And I think both sides always want that, but it doesn't always meet up. And you both have to give a little, right? So I remember being in college and my economics teacher saying something that stuck with me for my whole life. The sign of a good deal is when both parties walk out feeling like they got screwed.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's just, and so I think you both are going to have to come out feeling like you didn't get what you want, but I hope it doesn't leave bitter taste in your mouth going forward.
Yeah, I personally don't think it will. I personally think Dak's an absolute professional and
he's classy.
Yeah, it'll be totally fine. And hey,
you can shit on Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins for a lot of things, but being stand-up classy dudes is not something you can shit on either of them for.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, Kirk Cousins was on the UK coverage of the Super Bowl, and he just seemed like a really nice guy. He was like a really decent guy, really good broadcaster, and he definitely has a career in broadcasting after he's done.
But like I was telling you that on the Vikings website, he's got a podcast. I forget what podcast channel airs it, but you can find it on there. And is he a little corny and cheesy? Absolutely. Does it make him super likable because you can tell it's really him? Absolutely. He's not definitely fake at all.
Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. And in the same way I like Dak Prescott. And if any of you guys think the same as we do, like obviously Dak deserves his money and we just kind of hope it goes off in the right way for all parties, then leave a like on this video. That'd be really nice. If you don't, then leave a comment and we'll respond to it in the best way that we can. And we'll have a little chat in the comments with you.
Matty will respond to it in kind. I can't make any promises for myself because he's British. And even what he thinks is rude isn't rude to us. So Matty will be nice. I can't guarantee that I will, but I'll try.
Yeah, as long as you don't slag off Tony Romo or the Cowboys too much, then I'll be totally fine with you. You'll be totally okay. But Jay's a loose cannon on the comments, so you know.
Yeah, my wife even tells me that, so you know. All right, guys, I think we got a lot out on Tony Romo, and I thank you guys for watching. If you're watching us on Facebook, please like and follow. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, you can find Matty and Cynthia on TravelStoriesSociety.com and Travel Stories Society on Facebook. Check me out on Real Talk with Jay, and also on NFC North. You'll see both of us once in a while. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.